To add a Google Slides presentation to your OBS Studio project so you can record, live stream, whatever it is presentation is called. Now, before you hit OK here in OBS Studio, make sure that your Google Slides presentation is open for your presentation. Your monitor configures window capture. And this is for a lot of people that only have one monitor, or you can have multiple monitors and do this, but it works great no matter what your monitor configuration is. We're going to call it Google Slides. You call this whatever your presentation is called. Now, before you hit OK here in OBS Studio, make sure that your Google Slides presentation is open in a Google Chrome tab, Firefox tab, whatever it may be, so that as soon as you hit OK, you can find that source here in the list of available options, okay? So what you're gonna do here is select a window from the window drop-down menu. And because you already have your Google Slides presentation open, you'll see it right here, chrome.exe, and then general presentation is the one that I'm demoing for you today. And boom, it should automatically pull up for you here within OBS Preview. Leave the capture method alone. Use the window match priority that it comes with default, and all you have to do is decide whether you want the cursor to be seen while you're doing your presentation or not. That's up to you based on your materials. Once you get all of this done, you go ahead and hit OK, and boom, there it is. There is your presentation within your OBS preview pane. Here's the actual window itself that I had on my other monitor. And as you can see, as I resize this, it will automatically resize in OBS, okay? So if you go wide with it, it'll resize wide. If you go small with it, it'll resize accordingly. Now, most likely you guys want to present and have it be full screen so all of your content can be seen, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to hit record right over here. Hit start recording. Boom, there it is. Then what you can do is minimize OBS, especially if you only have one monitor. You can do this. If you have two monitors, you can pull it up on your other monitor and do this. Then you hit present. And what's happening, as you can see from the kind of little yellow lines on the very edge over here. See the yellow lines along the edge of my presentation? It's indicating within OBS that it is capturing everything within those yellow lines, and that will be in your presentation recording, okay? So that border all around here lets you know it is capturing everything that is currently on the screen. So now you can do your recording of your presentation with your title, your intro, whatever it is. It's recording all of this, and then when you're done, escape out of your presentation.
Heyo, rookies, Andy Libby here back with another advanced OBS tutorial, and today we take a look at Geez, I've literally done a Blue Peter on your ear. Filming videos is difficult. Right, so I've done a Blue Peter on your ear, and I've pre-made some stuff already. I've got 3 sources just here. We're going to be basically doing this setup on one source, the media source just here, which is what you can see just there. So to get this set up, we're going to right click on it and we're going to add a filter. You'll probably see in my version of OBS, I do actually have something like this already set up with show and hide transitions. I'm going to go through how I set that up. That's going to basically do what we're looking for right here. So when I show it, it fades in just like that. But I'm going to save that for another day. Okay, so if you want to see that video, make sure you are subscribed. So we're going to right click and go to filters. And this is the way that anybody can do it. We're just going to add a filter on the effect filters, and we're going to go to color correction. Just press OK and add that. And as you can see, opacity is what we're going to be using to fade something in and out. We're basically going to emulate that slider going across on its own. So to do that, we press the plus sign, and you'll see if you install the move transition plugin, you'll have move source, move value, and move transition override. We're going to be using move value. Not many people use this, and it is so powerful. So I'm going to call this media on to say that we're turning the media on. The filter that we want to take control of is the color correction, and the setting is the opacity. Just there. So the value that we want, we can have a little look at the color correction. So for it to be on, we want it to be 100. So I'm going to leave the value at 100. Put the duration here. So I want it to be 2000. So that's 2 seconds. You can change the ease in. You can do start delays, end delays. Completely up to you. Just tinker with them to get your desired effect. We're going to use the start trigger, enable and disable. Read through all them to find the one that works best for you. But when using stuff like a Stream Deck, which I'll show you in a second, and the Oran board and Touch Portal, things that interact with filters, it's probably better to put it on enable and disable. So I'm just going to put that on there. And you see, nothing happens when I click this button now. So we need to create another one, the move value, this time for turning it off. So I'm going to put media off. Press OK. And we're going to go to filter, the color correction, and opacity as the setting. But this time, change the value to 0. Do the duration. I'm going to do it as the same, just to keep with the theme. Leave everything else the same. Again, you need to fiddle about with that to get your desired effect. I'm going to put enable and disable for start trigger. And you'll see when I press that button now, we'll fade out. Press media on. We fade in. And that is it. You have created your own source transition on one scene, without having to create multiple scenes. So you'll see things like Harris Heller, where they get the webcam to fade in separately, and they have like an intermediate scene, and it gets a... I don't actually have a Stream Deck at the minute, so I can't do many Stream Deck videos, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate the OBS tools, and we just want to install that one just there. Here, so if I type in, you know where I am, I'd be doing... So when I show it... Right, so I've done a Blue Peter on your ear, and my version of OBS, I do actually have something like this already set up with show and hide transitions. I'm going to go...
You probably already know what transitions are. When you're streaming, you can set some animations that play every time you switch between scenes in OBS. In fact, people have even resorted to paying for custom stinger transitions to up the production value of their streams. One thing I've wanted for the longest time is the ability to customize the transition when you toggle a source on and off. So let's say your webcam. You're probably aware, but when you toggle a source off in OBS, it just does like this hard cut. And that just looks gross, and I hate that. What if you could have your camera fade in and fade out? Or maybe have your camera do it like a show you today. I will panels, even original source files and templates. Head on over to stream already. seasoned veterans out there are probably thinking there must be some kind of plugin that you installed to get this working. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I was actually talking to Exeldro, aka the plugin god. He told me that in order to add source transitions, he had to actually modify the OBS library itself. And then I responded back to him, I don't really know what that means, but I guess I'll take your word for it. What we're actually going to be doing is downloading an unofficial build of OBS that has this feature. If you want to get this build of OBS, you have to create a GitHub account, which is totally free, by the way. Then go into the link in the description box down below and then download the build there. If you go to the link, you'll see builds for Windows, Mac, and Linux. And if you're not signed into GitHub, all of these links will be blanked out and you're not going to be able to click on them. So if you see that, make sure you're signed in. I'm going to assume most of you guys are running Windows 10, so download the win64.zip file and then just unzip it. Then inside that zip file is another zip file for some reason. Anyway, unzip that zip file. In the end, you should see 3 folders: a bin folder, a data folder, and an OBS plugins folder. This is an entire OBS install, so you have 2 options here. The first option